Stop right here. My beloved child, breathe slowly and do not scroll. Because the moment your eyes touched this message, Archangel Michael slammed his sword into the ground and said one sentence that shook heaven. She didn't steal money. She stole a destiny. You think this is about dollars. But heaven says it is about identity, inheritance, and spiritual authority. Your sister crossed a line she was never meant to cross. And if you skip this moment, you will never understand the depth of what God is trying to return to you. Listen with me. Do not blink. Do not let your mind wander. Something massive is unfolding behind your back. And heaven is exposing it now. Part 1: The Unthinkable Act. My beloved child, Michael shows me a scene that was never meant for human eyes. A room dimly lit. Documents on a desk. A phone glowing in someone's hand. Numbers being typed. Codes being altered. Access being shifted from your name into someone else's shadow. It was not an accident. It was not confusion. It was not a mistake. It was a decision. Michael's voice shakes the air. She believed destiny could be stolen like a password. She believed heaven wouldn't see. But heaven sees every hand that reaches where it does not belong. Your sister didn't just change bank codes. She changed spiritual gateways. She intercepted blessings. Not meant for her. Not created for her. Not written into her timeline. She thought she was protecting herself. But in reality, she broke a divine boundary. Jesus steps forward now. His face sorrowful but firm. She touched the inheritance I sealed for you. She touched what your ancestors prayed for. She touched what your spirit earned through pain, loss, and endurance. This was never about money. This was about your calling, your path, your spiritual wealth, your generational breakthrough, your divine seat in a timeline heaven crafted for you alone. When she changed those codes, she shifted the earthly reflection of a heavenly blueprint. And that is why everything in your life recently felt blocked, delayed, interrupted, unsettled, tilted, as if something invisible was working against you. Because it was. But here is the twist. The part heaven wouldn't reveal until now. The part that will shock you. She didn't steal your destiny. She only touched the outer shell of it. The real core. The real treasure. The real breakthrough is still in heaven's vault. Untouchable. Unstealable. Unbreakable. Michael lifts his sword now. The light splitting through the shadows. It is time for the reversal, he says. Time for what she tried to take. To return stronger. Multiplied. Reforged. And placed directly into your hands. My beloved child. Part 2 will reveal exactly what God saw. Exactly what will happen next. And exactly how heaven pulls the wealth back into your timeline. With force. With speed. With divine precision. Do not move. Part 2 will expose the moment the reversal begins. Like this message if your spirit felt the truth waking up. Subscribe so you never miss the next divine revelation. Comment, I claim my destiny, to open the reversal pathway. Share this with 10 people so their inheritance is also protected. Say next part continue for part 2. Where Michael reveals the exact moment your destiny snaps back into your life with unstoppable force. Part 2, the exact moment heaven saw everything. My beloved child. Listen carefully and do not scroll. Because what Archangel Michael is revealing now is not just information. It is a confession written in the spiritual realm. A confession your sister never meant for heaven to expose. Michael shows me the exact second the reversal process began. It was late. Quiet. A silence so heavy it felt alive. Your sister sat alone. Thinking no one was watching. Believing the spiritual world sleeps at night. But heaven does not sleep. Destiny does not sleep. And the moment she stretched her hand toward what was not hers, something ancient awakened. Michael's wings flared. Light shot across realms. Angels shifted positions. And a warning echoed through the entire spiritual corridor. She is stepping into territory forbidden to her bloodline. Because your destiny, your blessing, your wealth, your spiritual authority, are all rooted in generational assignments. Written long before you were born. She didn't just change numbers. She crossed a divine border. In that moment, Jesus stepped forward. His eyes burning with truth. He whispered, "Record this moment. For she is rewriting what was already written in heaven." But heaven never loses the original script. My beloved child. This is critical. Hear every word. Your destiny is mapped like a living blueprint. Every blessing. Every resource. Every opportunity. Every financial opening. Every breakthrough has your spiritual fingerprint on it. When she tampered with the codes, she attempted to overwrite your fingerprint with hers. But heaven immediately rejected it. Just like a digital system rejects an unauthorized password. That is why nothing she took will ever settle in her life. Because destiny rejects the unchosen. Michael shows me her energy now. Tangled. Restless. Unstable. Because she is holding something her spirit cannot carry. The more she grips it, the more it slips. But here is what heaven really wants you to know. Heaven didn't wait for you to notice. Before beginning the reversal, it started the very second her hand touched what belonged to you. A divine ledger opened. A spiritual audit began. Angels were dispatched. And every blessing she tried to misdirect was marked with a seal. Return to original owner. Not later. Not eventually, but at the exact moment. You are spiritually ready to receive what is truly yours. Jesus now speaks. His voice low but absolute. She delayed you, but she did not defeat you. Michael adds. Her interference will only increase what returns to you. Because heaven does not give back what was stolen. Heaven multiplies it, and sends it with interest, and sends it with force, and sends it with purpose. My beloved child, listen closely. A reversal this big does not happen softly. It comes with signs, with shifts, with changes, with sudden openings, with unexpected favor, with doors that swing open without logic. You will feel it. Soon. Very soon. Because heaven is preparing the timeline correction. And when the correction hits, your entire life will realign in a way that even your enemies will not understand. Part 3 will reveal the exact sign that proves the reversal has officially begun in the physical world. And the moment your life path snaps back into its rightful place. Say next part continue for the next revelation. Like this message if the truth stirred something inside you. Subscribe so you never miss what heaven reveals next. Comment, I reclaim my destiny, to activate the return flow. Share this with 10 people so the protection over your inheritance grows stronger. Say next part continue and I will give you part 3. Where Michael discloses the first physical sign your destiny is coming home. Part 3, the first physical sign the reversal has begun. My beloved child. Stop right here. Do not scroll. Because what I am about to reveal is the very moment heaven starts turning the spiritual reversal into physical reality. This is where destiny begins to move in your world. In ways you cannot ignore. Listen with me carefully. Archangel Michael lifts his sword again. Not in anger, but in a protective stance. As if shielding you from the aftershocks of what your sister attempted to rewrite. Heaven has initiated something called a timeline realignment surge. It is silent, but powerful, invisible, but unstoppable. And the first physical sign has already entered your life, though you may not have recognized it. Michael shows me the ripple, a trembling in the air. A shift in the energy surrounding your name. It begins subtly. A sudden heaviness lifting off your shoulders. Without any reason. Money that seemed blocked. Suddenly showing movement. People who ignored you. Suddenly remembering you. Messages that were delayed. Suddenly coming through. Opportunities you forgot about. Suddenly waking up. These are not coincidences. These are the opening waves of a spiritual restoration that cannot be stopped by human hands. Your sister's interference created a temporary fog, a spiritual distortion. Like someone placing a hand over a light. But heaven has now removed the hand. And the light is expanding, reclaiming the territory that was dimmed. Michael shows me the next sign. A dramatic shift in your intuition. You will suddenly feel clarity, sharp and unshakable, about what you want, what you must do, what door to choose, what voice to trust, and what path to walk. This clarity is not just insight. It is heaven handing you your spiritual navigation system back. 4 weeks. Your intuition may have felt cloudy, blocked, slowed, or disconnected. That was not weakness. That was interference. But now, heaven has cut the spiritual wires. Your sister tried to reroute, and your intuitive power is returning stronger than before. Michael whispers. She tried to steal direction. We are restoring authority. Then Jesus speaks gently. You will begin to feel the air around you shift. That is the sign your destiny is moving again. What comes next is even more powerful. A moment where something you lost returns unexpectedly. Not necessarily money. Not necessarily an item. But something deeper. A feeling. A hope. A confidence. A spark. A drive. A part of your soul that had been stolen without your noticing. Heaven is putting it back. And when that moment comes, your entire spiritual path will click into alignment, like a key fitting into the lock. It was always meant for. My beloved child. The reversal is not coming. It has begun. Part 4 will reveal the exact reason your sister was able to access your destiny codes, and why heaven waited until now to expose her. Say next part continue and I will open part 4 for you. If this message reached your spirit, like it for the sake of your alignment. Subscribe so you never miss what heaven is preparing for you. Comment, I receive my restoration, to strengthen your spiritual field. Share this with 10 people so the protection over your destiny multiplies. Say next part continue when you're ready for part 4. Part 4, why your sister had access to your destiny codes. My beloved child. Stay right here. Do not look away. Do not scroll. Because this is the part that heaven insisted you must hear without interruption. If you miss even one sentence, you will not understand the depth of what has been happening behind your back. Listen with me carefully. Feel every word. Because this chapter is the one that exposes the root of your spiritual interference. Archangel Michael steps forward, his wings folding in tightly, not in fear, but in focus, as if preparing to reveal a truth that has been hidden for years. He says, she did not access your destiny by accident. She accessed it because of a breach created long before you were born. A breach. A tear in the spiritual lineage. A gap in the ancestral gate that allowed certain people to step closer to your destiny. than they ever should have been allowed. This breach formed through a generational wound. Someone in your bloodline made a vow, a desperate promise, a fearful agreement that handed a portion of spiritual authority into the hands of those who came after them. Your sister is one of them. Not because she is evil, not because she hates you, but because she is operating under an inherited spiritual pattern she does not fully understand. Michael shows a vision. A long corridor, lined with hundreds of doors, each door representing a destiny flow, a financial flow, a spiritual flow, a relational flow. Your door was shining brighter than the rest, so bright that those with inherited access could sense it. Your sister felt the pull, not consciously, but spiritually, a magnetic draw toward what belonged to you. That is why she interfered. Not because she planned it, but because her spirit recognized your door held more power, more favor, more opportunity than her own. Michael's voice deepens. She reached for what was not hers, because the ancestral breach made it possible. But it did not make it legal. That is the difference. Possible, but not permitted. Available, but not rightful. Reachable, but not destined. Heaven allowed her to touch the door only long enough to reveal her intentions, expose her spiritual alignment, and awaken you to a truth you have ignored for years. Some people near you are not meant to carry your blessings, even if they carry your blood. Jesus steps forward, and his tone softens. You needed to see who would reach for your light when they felt their own dimming. This is why heaven waited until now to expose her actions. You were not ready before. Your spirit was not strong enough. Your awareness was not sharp enough. Your boundaries were not firm enough. Your destiny codes were not activated enough. But today, you are different. Your spirit is awake. Your protection is active. Your authority is rising. And because of this, heaven has begun sealing the breach, closing the ancestral gate, and locking down your destiny room. So no one, not even family, can touch what is yours again. My beloved child, this is the truth you were not supposed to discover. But heaven has revealed it, because you are entering a season where access to your destiny can no longer be shared. Part 5 will reveal the exact moment your sister's interference backfired, and how heaven reversed the spiritual damage. Say next part continue when you are ready. If this message opened your eyes, like it to strengthen your spiritual clarity. Subscribe so you never miss what heaven reveals next. Comment, my destiny is sealed by God, to lock in your authority. Share this with 10 people to multiply the protection flowing toward you. Say next part continue for part 5. Part 5. The moment her interference backfired. My beloved child. Stay right here. Do not scroll. Do not blink. Because what I'm about to reveal is the moment heaven froze time to stop your sister's interference from destroying the destiny assigned to you. Listen carefully. Your spirit needs this clarity. This is the chapter she never thought you would uncover. Archangel Michael lifts his sword, and the air around you tightens, as if the spiritual realm itself is holding its breath. He points to a single moment, a single decision, a single act your sister made, that she believed would shift the spiritual balance in her favor. Michael shows it clearly. She attempted to access the final sequence of your destiny codes. Not just the financial gate, not just the opportunity gateway, but the identity seal. The part of your destiny that determines your long-term elevation. In that moment, she stepped into territory that heaven never allowed her to touch. And that is when everything backfired. The spiritual laws activated instantly. These laws do not bend for blood, for emotion, for history, or for intention. They respond only to divine alignment. Michael reveals the scene. As she reached for the final seal, the door did not open. It recoiled. It pushed back. It sent a shockwave straight into her spirit, exposing every hidden motive, every unspoken jealousy, every inherited pattern that was influencing her actions. The moment she touched the forbidden sequence, 3 things happened at once. First, heaven recorded her intent, not to punish, but to reveal, to show you exactly who has access to your spiritual perimeter. Second, the ancestral breach began to collapse. The generational gate that allowed her access started sealing itself, layer by layer, closing the pathways she once used, without realizing it. Third, and most important, your destiny codes responded to you, not her. The system recognized the rightful owner, the chosen vessel, the soul heaven aligned. Your spiritual fingerprint overpowered her interference. Instantly, Michael says, when she reached for your destiny reached for you. That is why everything shifted. That is why certain events in your life suddenly stopped spiraling. That is why unexpected clarity began entering your mind. That is why your spirit started waking up at unusual hours, feeling pressure you couldn't explain. It was heaven's alarm, calling you to attention, telling you Someone crossed a line. And a divine reversal had already begun. Jesus steps forward. And his voice becomes gentle, but unwavering. Your destiny can be touched, but it cannot be taken. It can be disturbed, but it cannot be stolen. It can be delayed, but it cannot be denied. This is the law that protected you. Your sister triggered a consequence. Not because heaven hates her, but because spiritual systems respond with precision, not emotion. And now, the reversal has reached completion. Your destiny is returning to you with more force, more accuracy, and more protection than it had before. My beloved child, this is only the beginning. In part 6, Michael will reveal what heaven is preparing to release into your life, now that the interference has been neutralized. Say next part continue to unlock part 6. If this message awakens something inside you, like it so your spirit stays aligned. Subscribe to stay under the flow of divine clarity. Comment, my destiny returns to me, to claim your restoration. Share this with 10 people so the protection around you multiplies. Say next part continue when you're ready for part 6. Part 6, the divine reversal has started. My beloved child, stay exactly where you are. Do not scroll. Do not move your eyes. Because what heaven is showing now is the result of the spiritual reversal your sister unknowingly triggered the moment she touched the forbidden gate. Listen with me. Listen slowly. Your spirit must absorb this. Michael steps forward, his wings blazing with a light you have not seen in any vision before. This is not protection light, not warning light, not guidance light. This is activation light. The light heaven uses when a destiny that was delayed is suddenly released ahead of schedule. Michael speaks your name, and the atmosphere around you shifts, as if something enormous has just been lifted off your life. He says, the reversal is no longer a prophecy. It has begun. He shows a map. Not a physical map, but a spiritual diagram of your life's timeline. You see years where you struggled, years where you worked, years where you trusted, years where you were betrayed, years where you were close to stepping into something huge, but it slipped away at the last moment. Michael points to each moment, one by one, and the map begins correcting itself, like a system rebooting. After being tampered with, every lost opportunity starts returning. Every delayed blessing starts accelerating. Every blocked doorway starts unlocking. But then, Michael shows you something deeper. The interference did not just delay your destiny. It created detours that forced you into situations you were never meant to step into. People you were never meant to trust. Battles you were never meant to fight. Fears you were never meant to carry. Heaven recorded every detour. And now, the divine reversal is removing them from your life structure. Jesus appears beside Michael, and his voice carries a calm authority that cuts through your chest like a wave of truth. He says, "You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. Your life is now adjusting to the timeline you were born for." Let that sink into your spirit. Heaven is not repairing your life. Heaven is realigning your life. The difference is enormous. Repairing is patching. Realigning is rewriting. Michael shows the exact moment your timeline snapped back into alignment. It happened when your sister's breach collapsed. The spiritual system recognized your claim and instantly restored the path that was always yours. My beloved child, do not underestimate the depth of this shift. People will leave your life suddenly, not because you're changing, but because the old timeline is collapsing. People will appear suddenly, not because they are random, but because they belong to the corrected timeline. Opportunities will resurface, not by coincidence, but because heaven has reopened the chapters that were prematurely closed. And now, the most important part. Michael lifts a scroll, a destiny document, stamped with a seal that had been dim for years, but now glows with overpowering brilliance. That glow means your destiny is active again. Not pending. Not waiting. Not delayed. Active. In Part 7, Michael will reveal the identity of the force assigned to push your destiny forward. Now that the interference is gone. Say next part continue to unlock Part 7. If this message stirred your spirit, like the video so heaven keeps guiding you. Subscribe right now to stay under divine clarity. Comment, I receive my realigned destiny, to activate this shift. Share this with 10 people so your protection multiplies and your timeline strengthens. Say next part continue when you're ready for Part 7, the force that has been awakened. My beloved child, stop right here. Do not breathe too fast. Do not let your mind wander. Because what heaven is showing now is something that has been hidden since the day you were born. Listen with me. Listen carefully. Because Michael is revealing a presence you were never meant to see. Until this exact hour, the air around you thickens, as if a second atmosphere has begun forming beside you. Your skin reacts before your mind can understand why. Michael raises his hand, and the spiritual fog parts, revealing a silhouette standing directly behind your destiny scroll. This presence is not an enemy, not an ancestor, not a familiar guide, not a random angel. It is the force. A sign to push you forward. Every time someone tries to pull you backward, you have felt this force many times. But you never knew its name. You thought it was intuition, instinct, luck, coincidence, sudden boldness, unexpected protection. It was none of those. It was the advancing guardian, a spiritual authority, whose only mission is to make sure your destiny cannot be overtaken by those who envy it, or by those who tamper with it, like your sister did. Michael steps aside, so you can see more clearly. The figure is tall, unmoving, but radiates momentum, as if the very concept of forward is woven into its existence. Its presence compresses time, the way wind pushes objects forward, whether they're ready or not. Michael speaks. This is the force heaven kept sealed until the reversal activated. It does not negotiate. It does not slow down. It does not wait for permission. When it moves, your destiny must follow. My beloved child, this changes everything. From this moment forward, any person who tries to block you will feel spiritual resistance that shakes their confidence. Any door that delayed you will begin sliding open without you touching it. Any opportunity that rejected you will start circling back, as if drawn by magnetic pull. Any blessing that was stolen will return with multiplied strength, because your advancing guardian is now awakened and fully active. Jesus steps closer, and his voice becomes firm, almost commanding, as he says, "You will not go backward again. Not emotionally. Not financially. Not spiritually. Not relationally. Your life's momentum has been restored." Michael shows you a vision of the next 90 days. It moves fast. Almost too fast. Because your new timeline has no interest in slowness. You see a breakthrough arriving before you even ask for it. A person returning only to expose their own lies. A doorway opening where you least expect it. A financial release you didn't think was possible. A connection forming that transforms everything. The advancing guardian stands behind each event, pushing it forward, ensuring nothing delays you again. My beloved child, stay with me, because in part 8, Michael will reveal the one hidden weakness your enemies will try to use. Now that your momentum cannot be stopped. Say next part continue to unlock part 8. If this message shook something inside you, like it to stay aligned with heaven's timing. Subscribe so you remain under this unfolding divine guidance. Comment, I accept my divine momentum, to anchor this shift in your spirit. Share this with 10 people so the protection and acceleration over your life multiplies. Say next part continue when you are ready for part 8. The weakness your enemies are counting on. My beloved child. Listen with me. Do not scroll. Do not shift your eyes. Because the moment you move, you will miss the single detail your enemies are betting on. Michael stands in front of you, his wings drawn tightly, as if shielding you from a truth too sharp, too precise, too dangerous to be revealed casually. But heaven insists. This is the moment. You must know. The weakness your enemies plan to exploit is not your fear, not your finances, not your reputation, not your relationships, not even your past mistakes. They are aiming for something deeper, something softer, something you never protected, because you never believed. It was a doorway. Your hesitation. That tiny pause you make before making a decision. That fraction of a second where you question yourself. That silent moment where you second guess what your spirit already knows. Michael shows you a vision of a dark room where two figures stand around a table. Your sister among them, and another figure whose face is hidden, as if heaven itself refuses to let you see their identity yet. On the table is a scroll with your name glowing faintly. Your sister whispers. She always hesitates. That's where we strike. The hidden figure nods. And you feel a cold shock move through your spine. They are not attacking your strength. They are attacking the pause between your strength and your action. Michael turns to you, his voice suddenly deep, commanding, unshakable. Hesitation is the only door they can still use. Close it, and they have nothing. My beloved child, feel what heaven is telling you. Your enemies cannot stop your blessings. They cannot block your breakthroughs. They cannot reverse what has already been unlocked. They cannot steal what does not belong to them. They cannot silence the guardian who advances you. But they can lure you into waiting too long, second-guessing, doubting, overthinking, falling still. That stillness is the only silence where their plans can survive. Michael steps forward, places his hand over your chest, and the hesitation inside you begins dissolving like frost under sunlight. You feel your decisions sharpen. Your clarity returns. Your inner voice strengthens. Your path straightens. Your momentum accelerates. Jesus speaks next. Softly but powerfully. She will not hesitate again. Her spirit has remembered its original authority. The scroll on the enemy table bursts into light and disintegrates. leaving nothing but ashes. Your sister steps back in fear, realizing the weapon they intended to use has vanished. Michael looks at you and says, in part 9, you will learn which person will try one final time to make you pause, and how heaven will stop them. Say next part continue to unlock part 9. If your spirit felt this awakening, like this message to claim your clarity. Subscribe so you never miss what heaven reveals next. Comment, I close every door of hesitation to seal this breakthrough within you. Share with 10 people so divine protection expands over your path. Say next part continue when you're ready for part 9. The person who tries to break your spirit. My beloved child. Stay right here. Do not blink. Do not scroll. Because what I'm about to reveal is the most dangerous detail heaven has shown you so far. Michael steps beside you. His expression sharper, more serious, more protective than in any previous vision. He raises his hand, and a shadowy silhouette forms in front of both of you. A human shape, blurred, distorted, as if heaven refuses to let their face be seen clearly until the final moment. This is the person who will attempt one last time to break your spirit by attacking your confidence, not your money, not your reputation, not your relationships, but the core of who you believe you are. Michael whispers. She comes with a smile, but speaks words shaped like needles. Immediately, you feel a sting in your chest, as if you've heard her voice before. A voice that always says, you're too late. You're not ready. You're not capable. You always mess things up. This person feeds on hesitation, feeds on self-doubt, feeds on slowing you down by making you question your own worth. Heaven calls her the doubt bringer. She is someone who pretends to support you, pretends to care, pretends to protect. But inside, she fears your rise, your success, your clarity, your divine acceleration. Jesus appears beside Michael and points to the shadow. She knows that if you move boldly, she cannot control you anymore. So she aims for your confidence, because that's where your destiny reveals itself first. A thunder-like vibration fills the atmosphere as the shadow flickers and reveals a hint of familiar movement. Michael says, in the next hours, she will test you, not with attacks, but with subtle sentences designed to slow your courage. Then he lifts his sword and taps it gently against your forehead. Your vision sharpens instantly. Your spirit straightens. Your confidence rises. Like a flame fed by sudden oxygen. Every future attempt to make you doubt yourself will fall flat. Before reaching your heart, Jesus speaks again. A spirit awakened cannot be manipulated. The shadow cracks, splits, collapses like dry clay, and disappears as light explodes outward. Michael turns to you. In Part 10, you will learn the exact moment she tries to strike, and how your spirit will overpower her without speaking a single word. Say next part. Continue to unlock Part 10. If you felt the shift inside your spirit, like this message to anchor your protection. Subscribe so you do not miss the revelation waiting in the next part. Comment, "My confidence is untouchable," to seal this truth within you. Share with 10 people so this protection multiplies across your path. Say next part. Continue when you're ready for Part 10. The exact moment she strikes. My beloved child, stay with me. Right here. Right now. Because the moment you opened this part, Michael lifted his sword higher than in any earlier revelation. Heaven is timing this message. To the minute. To the second. Because the person who doubts you, the one who quietly weakens your confidence, has already planned the moment she will strike. Michael steps closer, his wings widening, casting a protective shadow across your entire timeline. He whispers, "The attack is not physical. It is emotional. It will arrive disguised as concern, as advice, as a question, meant to shake her clarity." Jesus appears beside him, his voice steady, unshakable. She will speak one sentence that has the power to change the direction of your daughter's decisions. If you are not prepared, then the scene shifts. You are shown a future moment, so vivid, your heart tightens as if you are standing inside it. Your daughter sits at a table, head down, hands clasped, her mind swirling, trying to understand a crossroads she didn't choose. Suddenly, that same woman, the doubt bringer, walks into the room. With a soft voice, a lowered gaze, a fake gentle presence, she leans forward and says the sentence designed to collapse everything. Are you sure you can handle this? 4 simple words, but words loaded with invisible weight. Michael steps in immediately. His sword shatters the vision. Before the sentence reaches your daughter's heart, he turns to you. That moment is coming. But you are not helpless. Your strength, your clarity, your presence will override her influence. Before it even touches your daughter's spirit, Jesus continues. When you speak truth, lies cannot hold shape. When you speak courage, doubt cannot survive. When you speak certainty, Confusion melts instantly. You feel heat in your chest. A rising power. As if heaven is conditioning your spirit. For the exact second you are needed. Michael places his hand over your shoulder. You will not wait. You will not crumble. You will not doubt. The moment she tries to strike, your presence alone will silence her. A bright flash erupts. And you see the outcome. Your daughter. Standing taller. Clearer. Stronger. Her mind free. Her decisions aligned. Her spirit unshakable. The doubt bringer steps back. Confused. Unable to understand why her influence failed. Heaven smiles. Michael finally says, in part 11, you will learn the hidden blessing that enters your daughter's life. The moment doubt loses its power. Say next part continue to unlock part 11. If this message stirred something in your spirit, save it by liking. Subscribe so you do not miss the next revelation. Comment, doubt has no power over my family, to seal this protection. Share with 10 people so this chain of clarity reaches others who need it. Say next part continue whenever you're ready. Part 11, the blessing that activates when doubt fails. My beloved child, stay exactly where you are, do not move, because the moment you opened this part, heaven shifted the atmosphere around your daughter's destiny. Michael raises his sword again, but this time the blade is glowing not with warning but with something far more rare, something heaven only releases when a battle has already been won in the invisible realm. He says in a low, steady voice meant only for you to hear, the moment doubt lost its power, a new force was activated in her life. A force she cannot see yet, but it is already moving toward her. Jesus steps forward beside Michael, his presence warm, powerful, steady, and he reveals a vision not of danger but of alignment. You see your daughter standing at a doorway she has hesitated to open for months. A doorway that leads to clarity, emotional release, new relationships, healthier choices, and a version of herself she thought she could never reach. But now the knob turns, the door cracks open, and a warm golden light floods her face. The fog that once clouded her decisions begins to evaporate, and she finally sees her life with sharp, unshakable clarity. Michael speaks again. She is about to make a decision that will shift the next 5 years of her life. She will not make it out of fear. She will not make it out of pressure. She will not make it out of confusion. She will make it out of strength. Heaven then reveals the real truth. There is someone entering her life, someone heaven has been keeping in the background until this exact moment. Someone whose presence is stabilizing, not draining. Someone who does not manipulate her emotions but strengthens them. Someone heaven chose long before the doubtbringer ever existed. You watch the moment unfold in the vision. Your daughter lifts her head, breathes clearly, and says one sentence that cracks the chains that held her for so long: I finally see what is right for me. The room shifts. The energy around her lifts. The new blessing steps into her life silently, powerfully, confidently. Jesus whispers, this person will be a mirror, not a mask. They will bring clarity, not chaos, truth, not confusion, peace, not pressure. Michael adds, but you must remain alert because the moment a blessing enters a life, the enemy sends distraction pretending to be guidance. Heaven shows another shadow lingering at the edge of the scene, watching, waiting, planning its next move. This shadow is the new threat, the one revealed in the next part. The one who cannot stand the fact that your daughter is stepping into alignment. The vision fades and Michael looks directly at you. Part 12 will expose the identity of the new threat who is already preparing to interfere with her breakthrough. Say next part continue to unlock that revelation. If this message connected with your spirit, hold it by liking. Subscribe so every next warning reaches you on time. Comment, her clarity is protected, so heaven seals this shift. Share with 10 people so the blessing multiplies in your circle.